先に戻っててくれ。うん。
Hey everyone, it's Mark. This is my recap for Pokémon Journeys episode 110, the Battle Royale of Betrayal. This was the 1195th episode of the Pokémon anime, and I always get excited about Project Mew episodes. We also got a Project Mew preview trailer to discuss, as well as a very notable episode coming up next week, so let's break it all down. The episode opens with Ash and Go floating on a whalemare somewhere. Once again, no time for the usual intro or recap to start the episode. We see that the boys are approaching Sea Mauville, which is a pretty cool location that I am glad the anime is visiting. They see Danica off in the distance waving to them, which made me smile. I really like Danica's character, more on that throughout this episode. So just when Ash is ready to head inside Sea Mauville, Danica's like, no, only Go can compete in this one. Ash is disappointed, but Go is confident in himself. We see that he's going to be using Inteleon for this trial mission, and we'll get to the rules in a second. But first, we see that Go is asking about Gary, but Danica reveals that he's at a different site, and that's why we don't see Quill in here at all, because there is an entirely different location where this same trial mission is also taking place. Ash sends Go off into his mission, and we cut to the opening, and the only reason I bring this up is because they added 3 new things to the opening for this episode, first being a shot of the other 7 Masterclass competitors looking cool, and they also added the rest of the Masters 8 to this existing shot, and then they also added in a sequence where Ash and Lucario are using Aura Sphere together. That looked really awesome. Okay, back to the episode, as we see Go and Inteleon arriving at the lowest deck, which is where they were told to go to begin the mission. This is when Danica comes over the phone with a message saying that the trial mission this time is a Battle Royale type survival game. All the challengers that are in Sea Mauville must fight it out, and the last one standing will win 3 tokens. Danica calls for the Battle Royale to start, and wait, is that Ash and Pikachu popping up behind her? That's great. I love how excited and supportive they are. The phone's display then changes to a map of Sea Mauville's lowest deck, and you can see all the other challengers in red, whereas Go is the lone blue dot. One person was in the same room as Go, and that was this guy with his Grand Bull. Inteleon easily one-shots it with Mudshot. That's a new move. Just as Go turns to face another challenger, it's actually Horus of all people. These two friends are in no rush to battle each other. I feel like if Go had run into Gary here, then Gary would have just annihilated Go on the spot. Anyways, their map display goes out and is replaced with a 10-minute timer, so someone must have called in a counter UAV. They're interrupted by this guy coming in with a Barbaracle out of nowhere, and after Inteleon dodges and lands a hit with Mudshot, in comes another challenger from behind with his Zangoose. Horus cuts them off with a Moonblast to the face, and after Inteleon finishes off the Barbaracle from before, a drone comes in and announces they have all been eliminated. The 3 defeated trainers make their way back out, while Go has the idea that he and Horus should keep battling together, which is also picked up by the same drone as before. We cut to Ash and Danica watching this play out, and quick mention of how cute Danica's Azumarill projector was. Danica explains how this was a smart play in a mission like this, and we immediately cut straight back inside, where this time we see some random with a Vikavolt in the middle of a battle. They make quick work of both a Golduck and an Abomasnow, and that's when this person shows up. The subs say their name is Layla, but I actually think it's Lyra? I don't know, it's not super important. Likewise, this person's name is Shunya, and they decide to team up just like Go and Horus did. Speaking of those two, they're off in the dark somewhere, and they decide to talk strategy for a minute. Horus suggests that they just hide somewhere since they're unlikely to get defeated that way, but their minimap comes back on momentarily, making that tactic pointless. Another pair of challengers show up, and their Pokemon have the type advantage over Inteleon and Gardevoir. This gives them the initial advantage as they land some hits on Inteleon and Gardevoir, which makes Go panic a little and try to counterattack on his own. Horus reminds him of how well that went last time during the Articuno raid battle, and instead they decide to work together, with Gardevoir using support moves like Reflect and Heal Pulse, while Inteleon takes them both out, finishing off Shiftry with an awesome looking Liquidation. That's 2 more challengers down thanks to Go and Horus, while meanwhile the team of Shunya and Lyra are also looking good as a duo. Shunya makes the point that anyone is easy to beat if they let their guard down, and that's a little foreshadowing for what's about to happen in a little bit. Ash is excited to see the progress they are making, and Danica decides that it's about time to shake things up a little bit. She presses a button on this device she has here, and that opens up hatches in different parts of Sea Mauville that contain a lot of Pokeballs. Inside the Pokeballs are hordes of Pokemon like Jumpluff, Koffing, Roselia, and Magby, and they are clearly here to disrupt all the challengers, rushing at them using moves like Sleep Powder and Smokescreen. Back on the outside, Ash is like, what? How could you do something like this? And Danica just explains that chasers have to be ready for anything and know how to act under pressure. I love how Danica is a friendly person while still having a serious edge to her. Go and Horace were able to evade the hordes of Pokemon, and Horace is having some doubts about this whole thing. They wish that they didn't have to battle each other. Kind of an odd time to be having doubts like this, but anyways, their conversation is cut off from a girl screaming for help off in the distance, so they decide to check it out. They reach one of the deepest parts of Sea Mauville, and we see that Shunya and Lyra are here. I felt like I could see what was going on here from a mile away, to be honest. Lyra tries to explain how Shunya turned on her, attacking her Liepard, and puts on her best puppy dog eyes to try and ask for help from Go and Horace. Horace is ready to help without a second thought. Meanwhile, Go, yeah, he's not buying it. He brings up the very good point that if Liepard was defeated, where was the drone to officially eliminate them? Lyra can't believe that Go doesn't trust her. Horace, on the other hand, is too nice and stands up for Lyra. And yeah, of course they were lying. And Lyra has Liepard use Sucker Punch and Gardevoir, allowing Vikavolt to land some major damage with Discharge. Gardevoir is down after taking some serious damage, but it's not KO'd just yet. These two revel in their plan being a success. I love seeing genuinely antagonistic characters like these guys. Now it's down to Go and Inteleon to save the day, as these two explain that they have already eliminated all the other remaining competitors. Go springs into action, having Inteleon hide in the water and use Snipe Shot, but their attacks miss. Shunya gets Inteleon out of the water by using Discharge on the entire body of water, and eventually ends up trapping Inteleon in some String Shot. Things are looking pretty bad here, but Gardevoir is ready to get back up and fight, which is good because Inteleon is pretty much dead to rights at this point. However, things do change once Horace has Gardevoir use Confuse Ray on Vikavolt and Liepard. This allows Inteleon to break free, nail Liepard with a Snipe Shot, and finish things off by drilling Vikavolt with another Liquidation. This knocks Lyra and Shunya's Pokemon out, meaning that Go and Horace have survived. Don't celebrate just yet though, as Danica chimes in to inform them that only one person may clear the mission. Horace immediately tries to give up and let Go win, saying that they have no interest in fighting a friend. Go doesn't let them give up and has some sappy speech about not giving up on your dreams, and then challenges Horace to a battle. Horace is pretty hesitant but eventually agrees. This isn't much of a battle since both trainers recognize that their Pokemon have already taken serious damage. Go has Inteleon camouflage itself, but Horace and Gardevoir are experienced enough to stay calm, and once Go calls for a Snipe Shot, Horace counters with a Confuse Ray, and with Inteleon stunned, Gardevoir fires a Moonblast, and oh, this looks bad. Yeah, Inteleon is done for. Go's initial reaction is to congratulate Horace on their victory, but once Horace turns to head back to the entrance, we see Go giving the meanest clenched fist that would give Arthur a run for their money. Back outside, man, am I glad to see some sunlight again. Episodes that happen in dark places are so bad for videos and thumbnails, in my opinion. Anyways, Danica awards Horace 3 tokens for clearing the trial mission, and we are also surprised to find out that Go got 2 tokens for finishing in second, while Shunya and Lyra each got 1 token for coming in third and fourth. Danica starts talking to Quillen over video call, and he reveals that Gary cleared the mission over at his Battle Royale site, and Danica's like, yeah, I'm not surprised Gary won. Quillen goes on to explain how since rainy season is ending, it's almost time for them to go start the final stage of Project Mew. Because of this, Quillen makes the call that any challenger with less than 4 tokens is disqualified. We then see a leaderboard of how many tokens each person has, with Gary in the lead with 12, Lyra in second with 9, and then a whole host of challengers tied for third, including Horace and Shunya. Go is nervous, seeing that he's tied for 7th place with just 7 tokens to his name, and the episode ends with the narrator ominously asking whether or not Go will be able to make it into Project Mew and qualify to be a chaser. Another solid episode of Pokémon Journeys in my opinion, but there were definitely a few things I didn't quite like about this episode. To start, I thought the tone of this episode was a little weird at certain points. I thought the worst example of this was at the big important scene at the bottom of the ship. The background music here just felt like not as tense as it should have been, and I get how Horace doesn't really want to battle Go specifically, but I am not the biggest fan of them complaining in the middle of the battle royal that they'd rather just be friends with everyone instead of battling against them. I was also super disappointed that Go lost the final showdown against Horace. I have wanted Ash to lose a battle and face some adversity for so long now, yet he kept on winning his matches, while Go is still struggling through each of these last 2 Project Mew missions. Considering how close we are to the end of Journeys and how Ash and Go are barreling towards the climax of their respective competitions, I just wish we could see Go really coming into his own just like Ash is. Plus, this would have been an awesome episode for Inteleon to have won this entire competition. I mean, this episode was a throwback to the good old days of Go's Sobble because Go's Grookey was nowhere in sight. This was the first episode since its capture that Grookey did not appear in, and since the focus was all on Go's Inteleon, I really wish it had come away victorious here. With all that said, I did still like this episode for the most part. The Battle Royal was a fun concept, and I loved Danica's role as the person in charge of this event. I do wish we had gotten to see what the other Battle Royal site was like and how Quillen and Gary were getting on over there. Still a pretty good episode overall, and for that, I'm giving this episode a 7.5 out of 10 rating. Showing the leaderboard at the end was interesting as we finally got a chance to see where Go was stacking up compared to the rest of his competitors, and we now know that Go's running out of time to qualify to be a chaser and has some ground to make up. I thought it was kind of weird seeing Shunya and Lyra introduced in this episode. Even though I liked their characters, it was hard for me to get invested in them since they were just one-off characters of the day. Except, wait, they're not, because both of them have more tokens than Go, and we saw both of them in the preview trailer they released for Go's upcoming final trial mission. Oh yeah, I guess I should talk about that trailer. I don't really want to break down everything we saw in that trailer, especially since about half of it was just a recap of Project Mew up until this point. The rest was a tease of the final trial mission, which will be Go's last chance to qualify as a chaser. It looks like this mission will involve Go and Gary entering the Split Decision Ruins, where they'll encounter Regieleki and Regidrago. We don't really know much more than that, but whatever seems to be going on looks really cool, so I can't wait to see this play out. Likewise, the preview for the next episode was super notable as well. We are finally going to get to see Ash and Go travel to the Crown Tundra, and Chloe is coming with them. Not only that, but Lillie, Gladion, and Lusamine may be coming there as well. Apparently, we are going to see Lily's family finally find their father in this episode, and what? How does it make any sense that they've been searching for Mohn all this time and now Ash and friends are going to be there at the exact same time and place? I don't know. I won't judge this episode until after I actually watch it, but something just seems strange to me here. Anyways, more on that next week. For now, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.